Well, talking news across West Texas now, Customs and Border Protection is hitting pause on their controversial border project inside Big Bend National Park. CBP Commissioner Rodney Scott says he's going to visit the area and conduct an on-the-ground evaluation. Now, we're joined now by Terrell County Sheriff Thaddeus Cleveland live this morning, who's expected to join Commissioner Scott during his journey through the Big Bend region. Sheriff, thank you for joining us.
Hey, good morning, Lauren. Thank you for having me.
Well, you've mentioned to First Alert 7 that you've been encouraging Commissioner Scott to visit the Big Bend area for months now. Can you explain why that is so important to you?
Yes. So first and foremost, Rodney and I go back, Commissioner Scott, almost 28 years. You know, we worked in Nogales together. We worked up in D.C. together. I actually worked directly for him in Washington, D.C. But what's important about him coming out is to see the Big Bend, see the Big Bend region firsthand. Look, the people who've been making these decisions for Big Bend National Park about the infrastructure and the technology coming in, they're making these decisions out of a cubicle in Washington, D.C. You have to listen to the boots on the ground. You have to listen to the people that work out here daily. And again, see it with your own eyes to understand what the terrain looks like, what we're explaining when we get out in the media or post something. That again, you know, the Big Bend region is something that's precious, and it's something that we can certainly defend, but in a manner that makes the most sense and protects one of our gems of the nation.
So I'm curious, what are some of the key places that the commissioner will go during his border visit?
Right, and again, with my communication with Roddy that we've been having, and again, we talk frequently about this issue. Right now, he's just touring Big Bend Ranch State Park and Big Bend National Park. He took a helicopter tour yesterday. He's going back out again on a helicopter today to evaluate their plans to make sure that that what he's been told makes sense. And I've got to mention that again, these plans that were put together weren't done by agents down here in Big Bend. It was done by someone sitting in a cubicle up in Washington, D.C. And in order to get a great understanding for the terrain we have throughout this portion of the Big Bend, you really need to see it for yourself. You need to either walk it, you need to be in a boat or canoe to go along the river or fly it. And so at least he's coming down. He's going to take a look for himself. And again, hopefully make a decision that makes sense that we can all support.
So kind of expanding on that, beyond the national park, what are some of the particular areas of the border sector that you want the commissioner to pay attention to?
And Lauren, that's a great question. So here in my county, and actually what they call Big Bend Project 5, it's the 156 miles from the last 37 miles of Brewster County, 54 miles of Terrell County, and about 65 miles of Valverde County. They're calling to put a vehicle barrier there, and that's a 4-foot fence that doesn't allow vehicles to cross the border. And this 4-foot vehicle barrier is not going to be immediately on the border. It's going to be away from the border, but it makes no sense because you cannot drive a vehicle across this portion of the Rio Grande. The terrain doesn't allow for it. If you move up from Hudspeth County all the way down to Presidio County, they're looking to put that 30-foot bollard fence. Again, we have time and distance to our advantage out here. Having a fence like that doesn't make sense. Actually, up there, the Rio Grande River goes underground, and the 4-foot vehicle barrier is more suiting upriver from Presidio up to Sierra Blanca.
Thank you, Sheriff. We'll closely be following whatever happens in the next few days. Again, Sheriff, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me, Lauren. God bless you.